welcome to Life in Envelopes. I am Jennifer Bleecher. This channel is all about planning, budgeting, paying off debt, and my very exciting journey from full-time teacher to full-time Etsy shop owner and YouTuber. So if that is something that you think you would like to see, then please subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you along on this journey. Today, we are going to close out week 2 of my family budget, and we're going to set up week 3. Now, I want to give you a warning because some of my viewers are very vested in our budget, and I know you guys get nervous when things aren't looking so good, so I just want to give you a warning that this video is going to be a roller coaster ride. And I don't want you to be nervous because remember, we did prepare for times like this. We put a lot of money in savings because we knew that, you know, getting the business off the ground and me not working, things are not going to be perfect. So that being said, just keep that in mind that we have savings that we can dip into if we need to. My goal is not to dip into it. My goal is to eventually put that savings towards our debt, but it's there. So just keep that in mind as we go over everything today. Today I'm going to be using the Budget by Paycheck workbook by the Budget Mom. I do have a link to her website down below. I am also using printables from my friend Budget with Ira over in the UK, which is great that he has printables because we can buy them here and just print them off ourselves. So I do have a link to his YouTube channel in the description box below as well. Okay, so starting with our expense tracker, the way I do this, the way I use her workbook is I do one expense tracker per week. I know that's not the way that she designed it to be used, but that's the way that works best for me, and she's also said, do what works best for you. So I take that to heart. Okay, so I forgot to add this. Well, let's do it right now together. So we started with $416. We had $266 from Etsy this week, bringing us to $842. So we took out, okay, so I just want to explain one thing to you. I'm doing cash envelopes, so we may not have spent all of that $150, which is why I'm going to track the actual amount we spent in the envelopes over here. So when we do the budget closeout, we have the most accurate information for our categories. Now, I did take $150 out of the bank, so it was an actual amount of $150. So this is the actual amount of money that I took out of the bank. Okay, $842 minus $150. Let me look really quickly. Something is not right. I don't think this is 842. I don't know where I got that from. Nope, that's 682. Okay, I messed everything up. Okay. So what I use this worksheet for is to help me do my pre-work before I come in here and do like my final draft. This is like the pre-draft and the final draft. Thank goodness, because then I know when I make mistakes, I can immediately fix it. Okay, so that gives us a rollover of $349 into week 3. Okay, taking a look at the calendar, this is where I track our spending. So this week we didn't have any money that went to debt. For bills, we had one bill this month. This was for our internet, and it was for $87, and that came out on the 10th. Okay, moving on to food. We withdrew $150 from our bank account for our food envelope this week. And we will get to the envelopes later in the video, so remember that might not be the amount we actually spent, but we'll see when we get to the envelopes. Gas, we pulled out $10 for gas. Miscellaneous, we pulled out $41 for miscellaneous. We try not to actually spend anything from miscellaneous, and then we use the extra money at the end of the month that we were able to save, and we put that towards our sinking funds. Okay, spending, we pulled out $45 for spending. That's 20 for me, 20 for David, and 5 for Logan. For sinking funds, we only do that once a month. In the first week of the month, we use the money from the month before, where we were able to, how much we were able to save in our miscellaneous envelope. So last month we were able to save $235, and we did that last week. So we're not doing sinking funds this week. Okay, let's go to the budget. Okay, we're going to take a look at the budget here, and we're going to see what we budgeted versus what we actually spent. Last week we were pretty accurate, and this week we're even more accurate. Yeah, last week we were only off by $1, and this week we're even more accurate. The reason why we're so accurate right now is because of the cash envelopes. So that's really exciting, because I'm used to being the budget and the actual being way off, and it's not like that anymore now that we're doing the cash envelopes. Okay, so the rollover was $416, and Etsy was actually $266. So $416 plus $266. Really quickly, our Etsy amount varies dramatically from week to week, but I do this from the week before. So the amount we budget is the actual amount that we have to spend. So when I do my budget, I know exactly how much I have from Etsy because I use it from the week before. I hope that makes sense. So that gives us $682 to work with, which is exactly what we budgeted. Down here for MetroNet, our one bill, it was actually $87, making our total for our fixed expenses $87. So $682 minus 87 should be $595. Yep. Okay, moving down to our cash envelopes. So we had $595 to start with. We withdrew $150 for food, we withdrew $10 for gas, we withdrew $41 for miscellaneous, and $45 for spending. Altogether, that came to $246, bringing our total to $349. And I'll just double check my math here and make sure that's right. $246, so $595 minus $246 is $349. Okay, so up to sinking funds. Again, we're only doing this once a month, and this is not the week we do it. We're not paying anything extra debt right now, but I am looking forward to getting back to that someday. And let's go down here. So we have $349 to start with, and we are going to roll that over into next week to help us cover bills for next week. So that's $349. Bringing our budget down to zero. That's what I like to do at the end of every week. I want to zero out my budget. I want to have a place for my money at the end of every week. Okay, now we're going to set up our budget for week 3. Again, I did my pre-work on this worksheet, and this is where things got a little scary. They were both exciting and scary. So that's what I'm saying, it's a roller coaster. So let's just get into it. So this is week 3. And this is for the pay period of 9/12, so September 12th for September 18th. So we are preparing for the upcoming week here. Okay, for income, we had a rollover amount of $349. We got a very nice check from Etsy this week. We got to bring home $384 from our Etsy check, which was super exciting because this time last month we only made $80 in take-home pay from Etsy. So that's incredible. There's the high of the roller coaster. Okay, so if we add this all together, it should equal $733, but I'm just going to double check. Yes, $733. Okay, moving on to bills. So this week we have Disney Plus coming out, and that's going to be $9. We have Google Fi, which is our cell phones, and I already have the bill, so I know that it's going to be $77. Netflix, which is $20, and our city bill, which is $300. Okay, so let's add that all together. It should be $406, but let's check and make sure. Okay, so this is the first hiccup. So we need $406 to cover our bills this week, our fixed expenses. Now, I only have $349 designated for that because our Etsy money is designated for our variable expenses, our cash envelopes. So I already see that I'm going to have to take some money from Etsy to cover our family bills. which we're gonna have to actually physically take the cash out of the envelopes today and put it back in the bank, because I pulled out this amount to put in our cash envelopes. So that's okay. It's okay. That's the first hiccup, but no big deal. We can work it out. Okay, so that leaves us $327 to work with. So let's come down here to our cash envelopes, which are our variable expenses. So we have $327, and the cash envelopes we are currently doing are food, gas, miscellaneous, and spending. Okay, so for food, we're gonna take out $150 for food. We used to do $200 a week, but we've been doing really well with $150. And this week's kind of tricky because we need dog food and coffee, which costs $50. So that means we have $100 for like actual food for the family. So we'll see how that goes. I like the challenge. I'm excited by the challenge, so that's fine. Okay, gas, we're gonna set aside $10 for gas. Miscellaneous, we'll come back to that. Okay, so spending is $45. So these are kind of like fixed amounts that I put in each envelope, or I like to put in each envelope if I have that much money. And miscellaneous is whatever is left over. Now again, so that's going to be $122 this week. Now again, I really hope that we can use that money to put towards our sinking funds at the end of the month, but it is there in case something comes up during the month that we need to cover. So let me add this all together and see if that equals $327. Yep, that equals $327, which means we have $0, which means we have nothing to roll over to next week. And I was panicking a little bit when I saw that this morning. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, just breathe, Jennifer, just breathe. I've already looked ahead. Here, I'll show you. Okay, so I've already looked ahead at next week at what's going to come out for our bills. We have our van payment of $445, a student loan payment of $40, and Alliant Energy $32. So all together, let's see how much that's going to be. $517. Okay, so as far as income goes, we're going to get the child tax credit check. So that's $250. Okay, so that's $267 that we still have to come up with to cover our bills, because remember, my Etsy income, I like to use that if I can to pay for our variable expenses like food, gas. But you know what, guys? If we have to use Etsy to cover this, that's fine. We could always do a pantry challenge. We've done that in the past, and it's fun, and we have a good stockpile right now, so we could do a pantry challenge if we need to. But anyways, I'm also going to get a check from YouTube. Now, I don't know how much I'm going to get paid from YouTube, but I've been averaging $250 a month. So that really only leaves $17 that we need to come up with from Etsy. If I get paid $250 from YouTube, fingers crossed, I get paid at least $250 from YouTube. Okay, so I don't think we're gonna have to dip into our savings, but we'll have to see next week when we come back and close out week 3 and set up week 4. Okay, so let's go to the cash envelopes. Okay guys, so we're gonna start by looking at how much we have left over in each of these envelopes. Let's see, oh yeah, I like to subtract first and then add. Okay, so starting with food, see how much we spent on food. Last week, we spent everything. So we spent $150 on food last week. Okay, for gas, we still have $10, so we did not spend anything on gas. For miscellaneous, we put $42 in. Let's see if we had to dip into it this week. 20, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. Is that right? We only needed $1? 30, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. Yep, apparently we spent $1 of it. I honestly cannot remember what we spent, like what we spent that $1 on, but must have been something. Okay, So for spending, this is just exactly what we do, because the way I handle spending is we take it out of the account and then the family members get to spend it any way they want. We don't track it beyond that. So that one's pretty straightforward. Okay, so let's take out the money from our business account. Here's taxes. That just stays in the envelope until the end of the month. So here's our take-home pay. I'm just going to get it sorted. Okay, so there is the Etsy money, our take-home pay from Etsy this past week. So we decided we're going to put 150 of that. Here, let's do spending first. Okay, so David's spending, he just takes his 20 straight from the bank. So we need 20 for me and 5 for Logan. So here's 20 for me and 5 for Logan. And just for fun, let's see how much spending I currently have. So I have 20, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. So I have $44. There's something I want to buy and it costs $20. But I don't know, I might not do that now with things being kind of low. Okay, so that's just a straight 45. Deposits, and we are ending with 45. Okay, so that means for week 3, we're going to have $45 to spend. Okay, so food. This week we decided to deposit $150 into our food account, which means we'll have $150 for week 3 to spend. So we're going to put $150 in our food envelope. So that's 51, 150, and I'm sure we'll spend it this week, because like I said, we have coffee and dog food and groceries on top of that. Okay, for gas, so we're going to add $10 more today. So we started with 10, we didn't spend anything, which means we still have 10 in the envelope. We're adding 10 today, so we now have $20 to roll over for gas this week. And we're definitely going to get gas this week because we didn't get it last week. So $10 for gas, bringing our total to $20. So if you hear a crunching noise behind me, that's Mork eating his breakfast. Sorry about that. Hopefully you can't hear it, or hopefully it's not too loud if you can hear it. Okay, so moving on to miscellaneous. So we have 41 in here to start with because we had 42, we took away 1, so that leaves us with 41. And today, I would normally just add all of this that's left over to that, but if you remember, on our budget, we need to save some for bills. So I'm only going to take 122 for miscellaneous, and then whatever's left over in the tray, we'll deposit back into the bank. 20, 40, 60, 81, 120, 21, 22. 20, 40, 60, 80, 120, 121, 122. So that should be 163 that we have available in that envelope now, but we will count it and make sure it equals 163. 20, 40, 60, 80, 1, 20, 40, 50, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63. 163, which is a great amount to put towards our sinking funds. Hopefully we will get to put all of that towards our sinking funds at the end of the month. We will find out. Okay, so this is the money that I need to put back in my bank account to help cover bills. Let's see how much we're putting back into the bank account. 20, 40, 50, 55, 56, 57. Okay, not bad. I'm okay with that. We can handle that. So I'm going to just put that back here and make sure I take that back to the bank on Monday. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, will you please give it a thumbs up? And I will see you all again next time. Bye, everyone.